Colin here, and the wife.
Hello.
My beloved.
Yes.
As you've been requested to be called.
Sounds creepy, but okay.
By one of the subscribers. We got a very interesting show. I love stuff like this. Mm-hmm. It's neural interfaces. Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Neural interfaces. So Mark Zuckerberg, oddly enough, out of Elon Musk, who's like truth and humanity, Sam Altman, who's no longer the CEO of OpenAI.
Yeah, we should do one on that too.
But was kind of still a weird guy. Mark Zuckerberg seems to be the only one thinking about humans kind of staying human. He seems to be the only one that wants to work alongside of technology instead of merging. Because
he's a robot and he doesn't want us to get to his level.
Maybe that's exactly it. Robot or lizard person.
Yeah.
He could be either.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be going over that. So Joe Rogan and Mark Zuckerberg are going to be talking about neural interfaces. He's going to give his take on that, which is very interesting. And then we have a clip that you got to see. We're going to play that near the end. After this clip, there's somebody playing video games a completely different way, and it goes in line exactly with what Zuckerberg is talking about. It's very, very weird. Very weird. Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Hey, tell that story that you just told me now about one subscriber talking to another subscriber in the comment section. Tell me that story. Say that story.
Yeah,
for me.
there was in a video you were wearing a white sweater. And you don't wear white sweaters very often. You normally like your black sweaters.
Yeah.
And the top comment said, like, oh, I like your sweater, coach. And then somebody replied to that one and just said racist.
Wow. Come on, guys.
And I laughed so hard.
Come on, guys.
I couldn't tell if it was a joke, so I didn't like it.
White people get it hard sometimes.
Oh, it's funny.
If that was a white guy, he walked away like, it wasn't racist. The guy's black. I said complimenting a black person. Yeah. I don't get it.
Oh, so good.
Well, shout out to whoever said that. Thank you so much. I like a nice white sweater every once in a while. You know, no, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, let's get into the clip, guys.
The communication and interaction, they were designed for kind of work and certain computational workloads. And so a lot of what I'm trying to do is like, okay, well, what does it look like to design the next computing platform in a way that's like really people-centric? So if you were doing it in the way that like our brains worked and how we actually process the world and how we think about stuff and what matters to us, I don't think you'd build a platform that was designed around apps. You'd build it where the fundamental unit of how you interact is around kind of people and how you express yourself. And you'd want to be able to like have an avatar and an expression of your identity and be able to just jump between a bunch of different experiences rather than have everything be so siloed. So I don't know, I think that it's just like it's pretty wild to try to build this all from the ground up because it's just this incredible breadth and amount of technology. And I mean, I often get criticized because we're investing just this huge amount in this. We're going to spend this year alone more than $10 billion on all of these different research streams. But the breadth of this is just like extremely wide, right? It's not like $10 billion is going towards any one specific thing. It's like there's all the avatar work and all of how you express yourself and how you build the worlds. And then there's all the VR stuff. And within VR, we're working on this year's device and next year's device and the one after that. And then in AR, we talked about, it's like we have the Ray-Ban glasses and we have sort of the next version of that. But then we also have kind of the research going towards the full AR. And we haven't even gotten to neural interfaces yet, but we should definitely spend some time on that. But it's like you kind of go across all these different things and it's just this incredibly wide amount of technology that needs to get built in order to basically build and deliver a realistic sense of presence like you're physically there with another person, which I just think is the most magical thing in the world.
Well, it's very exciting. The idea that you could have an office in a jungle, like you could just all of a sudden we're going to call this meeting together and we're going to be on the moon.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be next to a volcano. There's going to be a bubbling volcano right next to the desk. It's cool. Look, I love the fact that there's people like you out there doing it, that it's expanding the possibilities for this stuff. But so neural interfaces.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like where's that going? And where are we at right now?
Yeah. So I think, so go back to your comments about the Matrix before. I think when people think about neural interfaces, or any interface, I think it's important to separate out there's sort of, there's feedback that you're giving to the computer, and then there's information that the computer gives to you. And you can separate those two things out. So I actually think the super hard part here is going to be having a computer give you information straight into your brain. And that's not a thing that we're working on. So some people, like Elon with Neuralink and those companies, I think that's just taking this like super far off. Maybe it'll be ready in like a couple decades. There will probably be interesting use cases in the near term for people who have injuries or something like that. But I think normal people, I think in the next 10 or 15 years are probably not going to want to get something just installed in their brain for fun. Is my guess.
I don't want to be an early adopter.
Yeah, I think you want like the mature version of that, not like the one that where it's going to get a lot better next year and you need to like get your brain implant upgraded every year. So, but here's the kind of version of this that I spent a lot of time thinking about. So, you have AR glasses, right? And how are you going to control them, right? I mean, how you kind of control any computation devices is obviously it's super fundamental to what the platform is. So you have a bunch of different modes. One of them is going to be voice, right? You'll be able to talk to it, but that doesn't always work, right? If you're in a public place or you want to be discreet or you want to just not annoy the people around you, you're not going to want to dictate everything out loud. A second way is going to be using your hands. So let's say, okay, so I snap my fingers, we have a chess game, right, or a poker game, and okay, here's our chessboard, and I move a piece. It's like, okay, yeah, that'll do with my hands. That's kind of cool, but like, you're not going to be walking down the sidewalk like manipulating stuff with your hands. I mean that
Minority Report style.
Yeah, I mean I think at some basic level, if you can get past that just being weird, I think most people's hands will just get tired, right? I mean, just if you hold your hands out like this for a long enough period of time, eventually you want to put your hands down. So the question is, how do you make it so that you can basically go and have your mind give commands to the computer, in this case the glasses, without having to speak out loud, without having to wave your hands around, even though those things will be great for some use cases, you're not going to want them all the time. So the research that we're doing, it's based on it's basically input only, and it's focused on, so it's not trying to send signals to your brain, it's trying to make it so that your brain can communicate with the computer. And the path that we have is it's based on the fact that we have all these extra motor neurons in our body, right? And part of the reason for that is like in case you get hurt, you have neuroplasticity, you can rewire, do stuff, like find a different pathway to kind of send a signal to move your finger or something. There's all these different ways that it turns out our brain could tell this finger to move, but we've sort of optimized individually, we kind of reinforce certain pathways and end up using one kind of motor neuron pathway to do a specific thing, and you have all these others that are not that used. So it turns out you can have a device on your wrist that basically your brain can communicate with your hand, tell your hand to move in like a pattern that it isn't used to, and then the wristband can sort of pick up those signals and translate them into completely different things, like having a virtual hand move in front of you while your physical hand is just kind of sitting there at your side.
Whoa.
So you'll be able to have this experience in the future where like you're sitting in a meeting, and your wife texts you and it pops up in the corner of your glasses, and you want to respond, but you don't want to like pull out your phone because that's kind of rude, right? So you just kind of like, I don't know, twitch your wrist a little bit, maybe like this, like some super discrete motion that no one even knows you're doing it, and you just like send a message. And
that seems like a massive distraction. I mean, people are already distracted by their phones. Like when people get a text message and they're like, hang on a second, I just can't answer this real quick. And you're like, okay. And you're sitting there having lunch with someone, they're not talking to you anymore because they're looking at their phone. But now they're going to be looking at these AR glasses and just thinking out text messages. And you won't even know that they're distracted. They're just going to be not connecting with you.
I don't know. I actually think, I don't know, one experience that I think has been interesting since I've been doing more Zoom calls, especially earlier in COVID. One thing that I think actually was quite good, or is quite good, is the ability to both kind of have everyone who you're meeting with on video chat, but then also have a chat thread going with some of those people. So that way, like, let's say there's something that you don't want to say to everyone who's in the room, but you want to ask one person. It's like, hey, can you clarify this thing that you said? Or you like don't want to say something in front of someone. It's like, I have this issue a lot because there's like a lot of confidential information that I have around the company. I don't want to share it with everyone, but I want to like get certain people's opinion on stuff. And if I'm doing a meeting and it's purely physical and like everyone is there, I found that sometimes I like have to wait until the meeting is over to go get the answer to the question that I wanted.
Right.
Whereas if I'm kind of having a virtual meeting over Zoom or in VR in workrooms, you can just kind of text people while you're doing that. So I actually think that it will unlock a massive amount of efficiency in communication and expression between people to make it so people don't have to wait until they're done doing one thing to send a message to someone else. But yeah, I mean, I do think that there's a separate question about if you have glasses and you're kind of going about, it's one thing to have VR and you put it on when you want to go, play a game or do a meeting. In the kind of fullness of augmented reality, when you kind of have the glasses and you're like going about that through your life, having some kind of really smart do not disturb mode that has a sense of like, okay, this thing really shouldn't distract you when you're doing something important that's going to be a really important AI problem too. I think to be able to kind of simulate and understand, because I don't think it's going to be as black and white as like do not disturb on or off, right? I think you want some intelligence there about, routing and kind of understanding which things you're going to want to get and which things not.
And maybe have certain people at priority, like if your wife or your family is trying to get a hold of you, they can get through, but business people can't get through.
Yeah.
I worry about additional distractions. I mean, I do not keep my children from social media because I feel like the world that they live in has social media in it, and I don't want them to be just completely disconnected from that. I limit the amount of time they use their phones, and I try to talk to them about the importance of not being like completely absorbed in social media and these kind of things that these kids do. But I think it's a part of life, and I think it's new and it's weird and it's confusing and it can be very addictive. But I also think it's a part of life. But going out to dinner with them is so hard. They just want to check their like, hey, put your phone down. Stop snapping with your friends. They're always Snapchatting. I'm like, stop doing that.
It's like, well, we got to stop that.
Yeah,
no.
It's like just got to put it aside. Just put it aside. But if you have glasses on, that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get people to, especially if glasses have social media applications and also offer some sort of a benefit, like a net benefit to like the way you view life, like maybe give you information on the amount of calories that are if you pick up a food item, like what is that? Oh, look at all the calories. Oh my God, it's got that oil in it. That's not good for you. Or, other benefits, but also has social media. You're going to come into this like sort of a weird place where you have to figure out whether or not this is a positive thing in your life or whether or not it's overcoming and you're overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, and I think that's something that it's going to end up being this balance, and hopefully our computers and platforms will help us find the reasonable balance on that. I mean, one of the things that you've said a few times is, okay, like I'm not sure if I'd want to do this digitally. I think about like it's like I want to have this experience in the real world. Yeah. I mean, here's one kind of philosophical way that I think about this is I actually think when you say the real world, I call that the physical world. And I think there's the physical world and the digital world. And I think the combination of those increasingly is the real world.
That's a very interesting last part there.
Yeah, weird. It's the world.
Yeah, because that is what it's becoming, right?
Yeah, like you have to distinguish now.
Because it's not like you have a conversation digitally and that doesn't trace over to the real world, right?
Yeah.
If you talk to your sister and about something digitally, all of a sudden in the real world, that plan is now happening.
Yes.
So
in the physical world.
It is, yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. That's why I chose that last spot there. And we're going to show you that clip of the girl playing a game in a very weird way. Elon Musk would be very proud of this. But it being a massive distraction would be very true unless exactly what he just said, unless all of a sudden everybody looks at it as both are the real world, not one and the other.
Yeah.
If it becomes everything. If all of a sudden this glasses, period, everybody has glasses on. Mm-hmm. Everybody can see the digital stuff. Then it's not a distraction then.
Yeah.
Because then you can probably, maybe not, but you may be able to see the digital stuff that I'm seeing. Or if maybe we're
like
both,
if you like opt into it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Interesting.
Because that would have to be the thing with kids. You'd have to be able to see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
So you'd have to be able to look over and like see the digital stuff that they're playing around with.
Yeah.
Right?
I was thinking about it like as he was talking, like being in a business meeting and being distracted. Mm-hmm. So I wear glasses. So I was thinking about where it would show up like in my field of view.
Yeah.
Because glasses aren't, I guess some people wear really big glasses, but it's not like they're like the entire room.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's weird to think that it would be like, I don't know, somewhere in the corner of my vision, like in what I'm looking at, mm-hmm. like a text would pop up or something. Yeah. Just like beside your head because I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah.
That would be super distracting.
It would be. That'd be the thing, right? It would be amazingly distracting all the time.
Yeah. And you can just see people's like eyes flick over.
Yeah, your eyes would either flick over or you'd like just be like, it would be like you're looking into space. Mm-hmm. You'd be looking at me, but you'd be like off somewhere. You know?
Yeah. It's weird.
That would be very, very odd. I don't know. But it seems like that would be the comfortable middle because I'm not getting something in my head.
Yeah.
And it's funny that he actually says that as well. And I know he's kind of has a bias, and he's supposed to kind of take jabs at Elon, especially since they're supposed to fight in the Coliseum. Apparently, they're supposed to have a
That's
US
ridiculous.
right? They're supposed to fight. So he's kind of taking a jab. Like, I don't think people are going to want to put that in their head, but I think he's right. Like,
I think he's right too.
you know?
Like, unless, like he said, you have like some kind of medical condition
Yeah.
where it would help you and be more able-bodied.
Yeah. Then it would be the thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Because it'd be a last resort of sorts. But like for the general population,
No.
they're not going
absolutely
to want to get these things in their head. And if you all of a sudden position it as glasses, like I wear blue blocker glasses,
Yeah.
and I wear them, you know, as soon as it hits like 8 o'clock, I'll start putting them on, you know, when I haven't smashed all of them. You haven't seen me wear them because I break them all the time and I lose
Yeah.
them and I have no idea where they are.
Yeah.
But when I get some more, you'll see them, you know, and I put those on. I have no problem with glasses.
Yeah.
And those provide a minor benefit in my life. And I'll wear them every day until I go to sleep. And I'll even wake up and wear them a little bit. So now all of a sudden, if you present me with this thing that's technology.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just crush those too.
Yeah, I'll break those. Bluetooth headphones, anything. I break it all. That's why I should be on a farm. I should be on a farm doing stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't need that stuff.
Can't break those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then the question is too, how would it connect? So you have glasses. Is it connecting to your phone? Or is it connecting to like 5G towers?
Yeah, right. That becomes the whole thing as well. You know, Bluetooth directly next to your skull
Yeah.
is not the greatest thing. That's not a conspiracy. That's just, you know,
It's
radiation.
just true. Yeah.
It's just
especially for long extended periods of time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then people are going to have it all the time. Like people, I bet, will just sleep with them.
Oh, yeah.
So they can, I don't know, set their alarm in it.
There's already so many people. I'm shocked of how many people like sleep directly next to their phone.
Oh, yeah, most people.
Like some people have it under their pillow.
Yep.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. Do you remember when there was that like Samsung issue with the batteries like overheating?
Yeah, and
And people's
exploding.
like beds were like,
Yeah, lighting on fire.
yeah.
Wow. So weird. Oh man, I can't wait until I can keep my phone nice and far away. That's what I want. You already know. I want an alarm clock and I want my phone like downstairs.
Yeah.
You know? If anybody...
We already keep our phones like in the bathroom.
Yeah, you have to keep it far away. It has to be on airplane mode. You can't have that thing going 24/7. You can't. It's not good for you. I feel like there is a minor connection to us when it is connected to the internet.
The only thing is like when we have kids and they grow up and they're out, I don't want to put my phone in airplane mode.
Yeah, no, then you can't. That's why it
the only
sucks. That's
thing,
why you
yeah.
got to get them inside. Get inside.
Yeah. Make sure you know they're safe.
Yeah. Get inside. 10 o'clock. Be inside the house. Don't play around or I'm going to come and find you. But, little dad moment there, sorry. But yeah, I think this is very interesting, the way he talks about it. He almost, and it's weird again to say from Mark Zuckerberg, because he's the lizard cyborg.
Yes.
But he has a more comforting way of talking about this.
Yeah.
Way more. You feel like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to help me.
Yes.
Rather than it's going to change me and alter me.
And even him talking about like having a smart do not disturb. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because he was saying like you need like AI to be able to filter what's important. And that would actually like help in daily life. Because I always forget to put my phone on silent or do not disturb or turn the ringer back on. So it's like if it knows and can filter that, that'd be amazing.
Right.
Even if that was just like an ability on my phone.
Little things. Maybe this makes him even more evil. The fact that he's able to like slightly turn us and make us look kindly upon this.
And then look negatively upon what Elon's doing.
Yeah. But I don't know. They're all odd. You know what? In the whole scope of things, when you look at the two of them, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Meta has some really bad censorship and like some wild things get censored and some really ridiculous things get put through. Like I saw some, like you see all sorts of things on Instagram. It's crazy. And then somebody uses like a word and it's like, oh, censor this person. It's very, very weird the way that works. But between the two of them, you know, Mark Zuckerberg didn't dress up as Satan for Halloween. Just saying.
Yeah.
He didn't dress up as Satan for Halloween with a devil head on his chest like Elon Musk did.
Did he have any kind of Halloween costume? I'm curious.
No, he's Mark Zuckerberg.
I guess.
He's probably like, I'm an avatar today. That was it. He probably didn't do anything. He probably dressed as the Facebook logo and just wore blue. You know? But he didn't do anything like that. And he has a wife and kids. He stays with his wife. He's with his wife. They have a very nice relationship, you know? So between the two of them, I don't know. One has a little more censorship. The other one bought a platform and has it uncensored. But between the two of them, Elon Musk seems a little more NWO-ish.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, that's cute. I just searched Mark Zuckerberg Halloween costume, and him and his family dressed up as like Harry Potter characters.
See, there you go.
He's Dumbledore.
Wow.
He's just got a big white beard and everything.
He's just a nerd. Everyone takes their nerddom differently. What we're going to play for you right now, should I just play the clip or do you want to read the article?
I'll play the clip and then we can talk about it.
So this girl is about to play a video game for all you guys, and she's going to do it in a very interesting way. But she's also going to explain how all this is happening. It has to do with the device on her head. So this is right in line with what Mark Zuckerberg's been talking about.
Ring with mind controls. The way that it works is that this EEG on my head picks up the electrical activity coming from my brain. And when you visualize different things, your pattern of brain activity is different. So for example, this is what my brain looks like when I'm talking to you now, roughly. Because I'm doing loads of different things and I'm moving around a lot and I'm thinking and doing different skills, it keeps fluttering and changing. But if you do one specific thing, so for example, visualizing pushing something forward, your brain looks a certain way. So I'll do that now and watch the brain activity change. The software that I'm using basically remembers these patterns of brain activity. And then when it says over a certain threshold, hey, you're doing that thing that you reminded me to remember that you can do, then that remembrance is keybinded to whatever I want. So for these ones, I'm imagining pushing something heavy forward. When I imagine doing that pattern of brain activity is keybinded to my dodge. The next one is called pull. This pattern of brain activity is the one that happens when I'm imagining a plate spinning to the tune of you spin me right round, maybe right round. And this one, for the sake of this trial, will be keybinded to my attack button. This one is for my healing. And it's the pattern of brain activity that happens when I imagine something sinking in water very slowly to the speed of... I don't know if the song helps.
So this is her explaining everything that she's going through. So she has commands that she uses for her brain. It happens in the game almost instantaneously. And just in case here, where's that article that I had of the girl? Just in case for some reason that music that was playing ends up getting us some kind of copyright, you're going to be seeing me all of a sudden just explaining things. So I'm just going to explain this girl right here, Twitch streamer. I cannot pronounce her name. She's playing a video game with her mind. This is the silent version of that. And there she is shooting a gun with her mind. She has all sorts of commands set up. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and it uses like eye tracking software as well.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so it knows exactly where she's looking.
Really?
Yeah, so that she can aim.
So crazy.
And she said the only thing that it doesn't do right now is like moving. So she has to use head movements.
Really?
To move her character in the game.
Ah.
But that's still like insane.
So here she is again. This is her shooting, like, and this is real. A lot of people are like, oh, this is not real, blah blah blah. This is real. We're in 2023. This is actually happening.
Yeah.
So this is her running, jumping, shooting.
And can I just say, this girl is so smart.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations.
Yeah.
That is amazing. She's like a psychology researcher.
Yeah.
And a Twitch streamer. And she figured out how to do this all by herself. And I didn't realize, I don't think, exactly how complicated it was until she was explaining. And she has different things set to different music.
That too.
That's insane. That's amazing.
Wait, what are the things she has set to me? Oh, she just said that.
Yeah, she said like plates spinning to a certain tune and something sinking in water. So she has to visualize all these things.
Oh.
In order for the computer to do what she wants.
I thought that's,
and pick it up.
I thought that's just how she triggered it in her mind. She actually has to.
She has to visualize those things.
Wow.
Can you imagine the concentration level required? Like, especially if you're playing a video game, like you can't necessarily focus on what's going on in the game. You have to actively think about something sinking in water to a specific tune.
That's interesting. But you know what? All these young people, even myself, like I'm a avid Call of Duty mobile player, and you do all sorts of things while like you do so many things simultaneously.
That's crazy.
Like you'll be doing something and you would have seen someone in a corner and you know that you're going to do the thing, and then you literally will shoot that guy, turn around. That guy is exactly where you thought he would be. You go up the stairs, you know that somebody's going to be right there. It's really weird. That's sometimes. Wild. Yeah, it gets real wild when you're playing.
You know me, I don't like video games because they stress me out.
I gave her a fake part of a game.
Like you give to kids or something.
Yeah, like you give to your little brother. You're like, hey, play this.
Panicking.
And it was like just a thing where you just shoot these paintballs. It was nothing. It did nothing. And I'm like, you got to do it. And then I left the room and she's like, oh no. Oh no.
I was like getting mad at you for leaving it with me because you said it was important.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No part of a game's important. I'm not young. I'm a grown man, so the games aren't really important. They're fun. They're not important.
But yeah, this girl's very, very impressive. That's insane what she's done.
Right? Like, how is she not hired by Meta already?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably because they don't know. But she should be hired. But here's the thing, right? Like we talk about Elon Musk and we talk about Meta and we talk about OpenAI, but there's many companies that are popping up doing this exact same stuff.
Yeah. Over
and over and over again. And somebody will eventually overshadow Meta, and then Meta will probably buy out their stuff. Like,
yeah.
That's how it works. And also, just to say, Mark Zuckerberg spent $10 billion. That's crazy on this stuff. Just this. So that means like,
wow.
Their company's really changing. Like everybody laughed when he first came out with one of the clips that I showed where he was like in the metaverse with all those different avatars and
where
stuff.
Where he looks like a Wii character.
Yeah, everybody was like, what is this? This is what you spent $10 billion on? And that was like phase 1.
Yeah.
That's just
barely.
Like
that's like a teaser phase.
Yeah, what he can show. Teaser, exactly. That's the perfect way of saying it. That's just what he could show right now. But think about what he can't show. And when I showed you that clip, and I showed all of you as well, when he was sitting with Lex Friedman.
Yes.
And
they had like the realistic avatar.
Yeah, that's like the next stage. So now all of a sudden you're walking around in one of those.
Yeah, I feel like that's like stage 1.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it gets weird from there.
Yeah.
Because right now they just have bodies, but like when they have arms and legs, and it gets weird. It gets really weird. And then you couple that with deepfakes.
Oh, God. And you have no idea who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because even with what we're talking about with him and Lex Friedman, if that avatar was set up and I got behind it, I would just be Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. You know? And you could jump in there as Lex. Yeah. And then we'd start kissing. Everybody would be like, what the? But, and then you'd see that, and then, it would go viral. But I got this deepfake video that I want to show you guys as well. Which one is it? This one here. So this gentleman is Tom Graham, his name? Yep. Tom Graham, and he's pretty much at the forefront of everything you've seen on Instagram and on YouTube in terms of deepfakes. He's working on this technology quite heavily, and that is him that you see on the screen right there, but that is not his face. Let's play the video.
The whole time. So the me that you are looking at is AI generated, and you can see when I put my hand in front of my face, it kind of like blinks on and off. This is an AI-generated model of face swap trained on data from my face on top of me, and that's why it looks exactly kind of realistic. It's not particularly interesting, but if I invite Jordan up here to experiment, we can see what it might look like on both of us at the same time. Jordan, in real life, you can't see yet, but she doesn't have a teenage beard. Yeah, it's a little bit strange, but that's what it looks like, and it will lock onto anybody's face. And I think, we have similar face shapes, so that's kind of a good mix. But that's a great example of kind of this technology that we're talking about. Sorry, I'll let you go unless you want to hang out in the awkward position of having my face. This is a great example of technology that we use on production on films. So it is a live real-time deepfake. That feed is coming directly from the camera, and it is running through a GPU in one of our machines just behind me. And that GPU is doing inference live and in real time at about 40 frames a second. And it can do that over multiple people at one time. So what you get there, and what we have done in production, are examples where you can have somebody on set performing. and they can, in live real time, see the photorealistic, perfect version of their de-aged self, their younger self, on top of their performance, and they can change their performance to act more young and adjust to that kind of VFX, which normally takes months and months and a large amount of money to actually apply to their faces after the fact during a big feature film, a Hollywood movie kind of thing.
So which celebrity do you think has used it already?
I don't know, probably a whole bunch.
Right? I would think.
Yeah.
That's not his face.
No. Tom Graham is the CEO of a company called Metaphysic AI.
Okay.
And he just started the company in 2021.
Wow, really? Yeah. He's only 2 years in.
Yeah.
Not even.
And he's already doing all this.
Wow.
It's scary.
Think about that.
They went viral on TikTok with
Tom Cruise, no?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first. I knew when I saw how well his was, that I knew it was connected to the Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he was the Tom Cruise video.
Because that one was wild. Can you imagine Tom Cruise's phone just blowing up? Are you doing these ads? He's like, no. What are you talking about?
And then there's like the legal issue too. Is like if they're using his likeness, does he get paid for something? Like, what's the deal there?
Who knows? It's up in the air. Because
it's not really him. It just makes me feel like I don't know if I should either stay off the internet entirely, because I don't think I can tell the difference between real and fake things sometimes, or if I should go on the internet more often to teach myself. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's that's a good question. I'm not sure. I think when we get a farm, we can stay off the internet more.
Yeah, I'll just use my filter. You're pretty good at detecting when things are fake.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not so good.
And honestly, that's only because of how much video editing I've done.
Yeah.
And having a close friend who's in 3D modeling.
Yeah.
And constantly having to look very closely at my own face, other people's faces, constantly editing things, like color grading, all this stuff. If I didn't, and I'd have friends who are also, they're a little deeper into that type of tech, where it's not even about video editing. So I'm just lucky that I've had that background, or else I don't know if I'd be able to tell the difference.
Nope, I can't.
Because genuinely, I can't see any difference in this gentleman.
No, not until he put his hand in front of his face.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not his face.
So how you know who they're actually doing this with? I don't know if you know either. If you see Bruce Willis in a movie, like I think from 2022 and on, it's not him. Because all they have to do now is just have somebody with the body, somebody who would be a stunt double.
Yeah. And
that's it. They can use Bruce's voice. They can use his face. He's actually, if you don't know, he has dementia. Yeah. I'm not sure what kind it is, but I've heard what kind. It's just dementia, and he has signed over, or his family has signed over, his likeness and his voice for films ongoingly. So, yeah. I remember when I found that out, I told my buddy Kevin, he's been on the show a bunch of times, and he sent me something. He was in Europe, I believe. And he sent me something. He's like, check this out. And it was Bruce Willis doing an ad.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a drink that said something like coming out of hell or in hell, which was so eerie, because it was like a thing of him, and it's like fire, and he's in hell, but it's not even him. It's such a odd
and if
world.
you sign over your likeness, then you no longer get to dictate what you're going to be in.
No, it's like the last episode we did with the people who are plasterized. Is it?
Yeah,
that's the word.
Plasticized. I don't know.
Yeah. So you have no say.
Yeah, that's weird.
You have no say. It's wild. Very interesting. So the only reason I play this clip as well, alongside of Mark Zuckerberg talking about neural interfaces, is because that's the next step, right? You go from the neural interface, where you're pretty much in the metaverse, or you have your AI and everything, and the next thing you know, people are like, who knows if they're going to have an app or something that you pay for, where everybody's wearing these glasses, and everybody who sees you while you're wearing those glasses, you look like Paris Hilton. You know?
Yeah.
It's just a thing you pay for.
And then if you're like take them on and off,
yeah, it
would be super weird.
But people don't take them off.
True.
Because it gets to that point. So now, whoever you have paid to be, you are. It's like it's like digital plastic surgery. You know?
That's so crazy.
Because nobody ever goes up to, fake body parts and says, hey, let me see what's going on here. No one does that. They just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
And as the digital world becomes more the real world, like Mark Zuckerberg was talking about, whatever you are, that's what you become. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
There is an episode that I did a while back where these people on TikTok, and they are crying hysterically because there's a filter that makes them look young. So they're old.
Oh,
and then all
yeah,
of a sudden,
yeah. That's super viral.
Yeah. TikTok young filter. And they all get really sad. And what really, yeah, it's even called emotional. Easy on the music there. Right? Everybody gets really sad. It's weird. So now, as I'm showing you this, look at this woman's reaction. These are the people who are signing up, no problem.
True.
You tell these people, look how upset this woman gets. I miss that face. The people who get real emotional towards this stuff as it's going on, those are the people that are going to sign up. You tell those people that they have to do X, Y, Z, and they get to be in a world where they get to be that face, they're in.
Yeah, that's so strange.
And there's a lot of people that feel that way. A lot of people.
Most of these people aren't even old.
No.
So it's strange.
People go with the idea that they're old. People always go with the idea that they're really old.
I guess.
They do it really quick. In the 90s, it's like you turn 30, people are calling you old. You're calling yourself old. Even when you're 50, you're calling yourself old. But you don't have to.
No, I don't want to look 20 again.
My mom calls herself, she says she's 26 every year. Every year it's her birthday. It's her birthday tomorrow.
It is.
She says she's 26. and she's younger.
She has nicer skin than most 26-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, right. But, it's a mind state, not a thing that you just kind of, a lot of people like to be self-deprecating about being old instead of just being proud of it. And I think that's the issue there. Because I'm very proud of my age. I am one of those people that looks extremely young. I look great. But as I get older and I get grays and everything, I like it.
Yeah.
I embrace that type of stuff. But a lot of people don't. And it's because we're taught not to. We're taught to make fun of the old guy and this and that. And, so many people, see, look at that. Instantly, just tears. Instantly.
Wow.
You tell those people, hey, I just need you to give up this freedom, this liberty, this privacy, and you get to be this. Everybody who sees you will see that. It's the women that get really sad.
Yeah.
But again, that's because you're taught that kind of thing. You're taught to be upset that you're an older lady. You're taught to see yourself as older, by the time you're 30, 35. But it's look at my brother. My brother is almost 50. And he looks like he's in his 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
Just take care of yourself. But that part's hard too. But yeah, very interesting what kind of world is developing with these neural networks.
Yeah.
Or neural interfaces.
Can you pull up that article that I had with the Tom Hanks one?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, because they were talking about Tom Graham in that last deepfake video was talking about Hollywood.
Of course.
So there's actually a movie coming out with these people being de-aged by his program.
Oh no. So a young Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Because the premise of the movie is that they're following these people who are trapped in a room for years and years and years and years.
Trapped in one room?
Yes.
Okay.
So they put this deep fake filter on them to film. So Tom Hanks and Robin Wright are going to be younger versions of themselves in this movie.
Wow.
And then they'll age over time.
Until they're themselves.
I guess. Or maybe older. Who knows? They could do that too.
Yeah, that's true. Wow. Like, imagine that. Imagine Hollywood has that control and they make you young because you don't have to do in-person appearances. They're making you very young. Mm-hmm. They're making you look really young. And if you step out of line, they just age you. You know? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it makes them need like less actors as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they could just take Meryl Streep from the 80s.
Yeah. And just use her again.
Yeah, exactly. She's an amazing actress.
And depending on how much tinfoil you want to wear, you know, if you put on your tinfoil suit, they say they're already doing that with people. Biologically. Yeah, that's for another episode. They say they already do that with people.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like Taylor Swift is like that other person. Yeah. And then they look into Eddie Murphy and he's someone else, and you know. They're making copies, apparently. Who knows, though? Who knows? That's all movie stuff.
Yeah, but this stuff is already happening. All the deepfake stuff and the neural interfaces, and keep your eyes peeled. Don't believe what you see.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You can't
Seeing
believe
is not believing anymore.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really not. Very interesting stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about glasses. Right? It's not like, you know, we've had an episode where we were talking about just getting something to like put right into your head. Yeah. Nobody wants that. But what do you think about a pair of glasses? Mm-hmm. Just put on a pair of glasses and you're just like, okay, now I have all this tech in front of me. Here's what I see in the future, right? It's like 2065. And there's a guy who's just like me. Maybe it's even me. Maybe I got some robot limbs or whatever. But he's living off grid. But the technology that Mark Zuckerberg is now talking about that's so exclusive is just so regular. So it gets to the point where even a guy who's like off the grid and like alone, a farmer type, will like have these glasses on. And he'll be like, I need some wood. And then all of a sudden, do. All different percentages of how dry this wood is. Okay, that's dry enough. That's dry enough. That's dry enough. Okay. I need something to eat. What can we eat?
Yeah, and you don't even have to say it. You just have to think it.
Oh, yeah. It even gets to that point. You just have to think it. Mm-hmm. You know? That weird I'm thinking of like this weird dystopian farmer, you know, walking around in a trench coat. The air's thick with smog. The sky's red because Bill Gates tried to blow stardust in front of it to block it.
No, it was his, whatever he's spraying on produce these days.
No, well, no. He had like he wanted to like take gold.
Yeah.
He wanted like gold dust sprayed in front of the sun to like stop from warming.
Yeah. So
and also stop everything from growing because he's Bill Gates and he doesn't know what he's doing. He needs someone to take over his estate. But what do you got? What else you got? That's it, guys. Let me know what you think of this whole thing. If you're willing to wear some glasses to walk around like that, you know, because it's just glasses. It's just glasses. That's it. It's hooked up to your phone, maybe. Maybe it's just hooked up to yourself. Maybe it just has its own battery. I don't know. Maybe that battery lasts for 24 hours. Would you be on board with that? Would you?
I don't know. I think it's one of those things that if everybody was doing it, like you'd feel like you'd have to.
I think I wouldn't do it. For the same reason I want to turn autocorrect off on my phone. Like I start not typing properly. Like there's times where I'm typing and I'm just like, I don't care, whatever. It'll know what I'm saying. It's really bad. It gets really bad. And imagine that happening with your thoughts.
True.
And you're moving around every day.
And your interactions with people.
Yeah.
Are just like a ABC.
Yeah. And you're just like looking at something and you're just expecting these glasses to tell you what to wear or tell you to do this, tell you to do that. It starts handicapping you. So I think I'd stay away from it for that reason.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. I don't want to go too much deeper. I think the phone's good enough.
True.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden they're like, oh, there's no phone, sir, you have to take glasses. The same way they did to me when I just wanted the keyboard on my phone. They did that to me years ago. I'll just be like, whatever, man. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to make this thing keep working.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what it gets to. Are you on board with me or are you joining the lizard cyborgs technology? You let me know in the comments. Other than that, like, subscribe, and we're out.
Bye.